Today's session is important and today's session is quite different as compared to our previous session, because now you have to start thinking logically, correct? So you can see the title of today's session, and today we will discuss about the functions. Okay, so these all things we will discuss: introduction, first function, returning result, local, global variable, and these all things we will discuss. Now let me go here, and before starting, let me ask you one question. If I'll go here and if I'll say this is, for an example, my functions which I have created over here. You know what Python will, what print statement will do, right? If I'll go here and if I'll say print, so whenever I will say print, what this print statement will do, whatever I will say you to print, it will print, right? Here if I'll go and if I'll say hello all, now can anyone tell me what output I will get when I will run this program? Anyone?
Nothing.
Sorry?
Hello all.
Because there is no hello printer.
Okay. So the logical question is, when I said print this thing and when I'm saying hello all, when I will run this program, what it will do? Or simply, if I will go here and if I'll say print and if I'll say hello all, yes, if I will run this program, I will get the output print, I will get the output hello all. When I will go here and I will run the program, you can see I'm not getting anything. Yes or no? Yes, are you getting me what I'm saying? If you are confused, let me delete this one. Now let me run this program again. I'm running this program, but I'm not getting any output. Why? Even though I have used the print statement, right? You know why? Because of the function. Yes. So a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. It only runs when it is called. That means what? That means if I want to run this print statement, I have to call my function. When I will see again here also, when I will run this program, I will get that function main dot my function. When I will go here and I will say I want to run whatever I have written in the hello. So this is my function name. You can put any name as a function name. So once you will put the function name, after that whatever you will write in this print statement, this print statement will be only printed. Remember, this print statement will be only printed if you will call the function. Can I say here I call my function? This is my function name and this is my function name. So technically here you have defined the function and here you have called the function. So it will only print the output once you will call whatever the functions you have defined over here. Make sense? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. You can pass data known as the parameters into a function. So a function can return the data as a result. So how to create the function? You can create the function like this in a Python. A function is defined using the def keyword. This DEF stands for define. What? This DEF stands for define. So whenever you want to define any function, you will use this keyword. Calling a function, to call a function, use the function name followed by the parenthesis, correct? So whenever you will say I want to call any function, so you can call the functions by putting the function name. Now what do you mean by argument? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by argument? Yes, information can be passed into a function as an argument. Arguments are specified after the function name inside the parenthesis. You can add as many as argument you want, just separate them with a comma. Correct. The following example is function with the one argument f name. You can put any argument name. When a function is called, we pass along a first name, which is used inside the function to print the full name. Arguments are often shortened to args. So when I will say args into the Python, this is nothing but the, so here you can see I said my function, I have defined my, what is my function name here. This is important. What is my function name here? Come on guys, don't sleep. In this
Fname.
Fname, very good. And what is the argument here? Argument is something which you have defined in this bracket, got it? So this is nothing but my function name, and this is nothing but my arguments. Whatever the arguments you are passing inside this function, it will print. So here you can see after that I will say my function, that means I'm calling my function, email, my function, Tobis, my function, Linus. So when I will run this program, what actually it will do? You can see here it is saying that email and whatever I put in the print statement, Tobis, whatever I put in the print statement, Linus, what I put into the print statement. Yes or no? You know
Yes.
why I'm getting this thing and this thing and this thing? Because I put the plus sign over here after my arguments. Whatever we are learning today, that is very, very important. When you will start the automation, you will use these things everywhere. And I'm also very much happy and excited to share this thing with you. So here I said define, diff stands for define, my function name. These are my arguments. I am printing in the print. I am calling my argument. I use the plus sign. That's why it is printing again and again. Reference, you can put any name here. Then I call my function, my function, my function. And whatever you want to print, you can put it over here. Correct. So if you want to see, let me show you over here. If I will go here and I will say define. Now, as I told you, here you can put any name. If I'll say my, but remember, whenever I'm defining any function name, you have to define the function name with that underscore. Yes, then here I will say my name is equal to name. As I said, you can put anything. You have to put the double colon here. Then you have to use the print statement. Definitely, if you will not use the print statement, it will not print anything. Yes. In the print statement, you have to call your function name. You have to, what you have to call? You have to call your function name. The function name which you define above, then I will say operator. Then I will say, you know, I'm just thinking that what I have to print. Let me say Python, simple. And then I will say, okay, now whenever you want to print anything or you have to call your function, here you have to go back. That means you will, you know, if you go back over here and if you print it, then it will not give any kind of indentation error. Then I will go here and I will say my name. Automatically it will come. After calling your function, here you will decide that what I have to print here. I will say Python is, or I can say easy Python. Then I will say my name. Then I will say I love Python. Then I will say my name, and here I will say funny Python. After that, when I will say run this program, you can see right now I'm getting the error. Why I'm getting the error? What is the reason that I'm getting the error? Yes. Anyone? I know why.
No.
Just only one error. I made this error for you people. Why? If you focus in this error, you will automatically learn the Python. Yes. No, Python is not an error. Okay, let me give you the hint. The hint is the error is over here only.
Space नहीं है sir print.
No, no spacing error. Again think, मैंने आपको बोल दिया कि error इसमें ही है, error is over here only the error. Sorry, I'm not checking the messages because I have to go back and I have to check the message and I have to see what is the
सर
error.
ऊपर से जो कवर होता है वो तीनों को सब कवर होगा, माय नेम से लेकर पैटर्न तक।
नहीं, any other, anyone else? Okay, whenever you are printing something, you have to call the argument here. What you have to call? Not function name. This is my function name, right? Satish.
Yes. You have to call the name. Instead of my name, it should be just name.
Yes, I just have to call the arguments which I would pass inside the function. So if I will go here and if I'll say name, yes, or it will automatically come. Now let me run the program. You can see easy Python, love Python, and funny Python.
Yes.
Make sense?
Cool. Yes, it does.
Yes, correct. So see, when you will start the coding, at first you will not come to know that what you will face some issue. You will think, why, what is the error? Even I have print only 5 lines, I'm doing only 5 lines, still I'm getting the error. But when you will look at the error carefully, you will come to know that, oh my god, in C, this is important, right? Here I said you have to call the arguments, not function. These are the two different things. Arguments are a part of function. Once you will define the function, then you will put the argument inside the function. And when you are printing something, you will never call your function. You will always call the arguments. Yes, even if you want to see here, you can see here I have not called my function. Yes, whatever I have to print, I call that thing over here. Yes or no? Correct. Here I have not said that I want to call my function. No, function will be always called here. Where? After the print statement. Here also I call my function after the print statement. Correct. So this thing you have to remember. Now parameter or argument, some people called it parameter, some people called it argument. So what is the difference actually? Yes, sorry, the term parameter and arguments can be used for same thing. I told you, right? Some people called it parameter, some people called it arguments. Information that are passed into the function. From a function's perspective, a parameter is a variable listed inside the parenthesis in the function definition. Makes sense. An argument is the value that is sent to the function when it is called. Makes sense. So if you don't know, let me go here and let me tell you. Now this time I'm saying that number of arguments. By default, a function must be called with the correct number of arguments, meaning that if your function expect 2 arguments, you have to call the functions with the 2 arguments. Okay, again, by default, a function must be called with the correct number of arguments, meaning that if your function expect 2 arguments, you have to call the function with the 2 argument, not more, not less than 2 argument. Let me show you the practical here. Let me go here and I'm creating the program, different program for you so that it is very easy for you to understand. Yes, let me go here and let me see coding. So what I am saying that let me define one function. Okay, my function name is, let me say number 1. You can put any function name over here. Function name can be anything, whatever you want to put, or let me go with the standard method. Let me say my and function. Now here I am passing the arguments. So whenever Satish, whenever you are passing the arguments inside the function, you don't have to use the double quotation mark, even if it is string. Even if it's string, you don't want to use the double quotation mark, whatever the marks we are using over here. Here I pass the 2 arguments. Makes sense, right? And then I will say print. Now I am printing something. What do you want to print? Here I am saying that I want to print. So here, this time I will not make a mistakes. This time I will say, okay, my first argument, this is my first argument, which I have defined in my function. Yes. Yes. Then I will say, what is my second argument? What you have to print in between this argument? So I will say my second argument is name. Obviously it should be name because I'm calling my second argument over here. After calling your first argument and second argument, now if you want the output, you have to call your function. My function is nothing but my function. Yes,
Yes.
whatever the function you define. Now inside the function, you will print whatever you want to print. Whatever you want to print means what? Here I am saying that. Here I am saying that. You can see you put something over here. Yes, that means something will come in this particular to that kya bolte hai, double quotation, right? So what
Yes.
you have to print in between this. Let me say name. Let me say name is nothing but the Satish.
Mhm.
Okay, then next f name is Satish, and let me say name is nothing but the Satish ABC. When I will run this program, see what will happen when, let me say, run this program. What I'm getting f name is Satish and simple name is nothing but the Satish ABC. Yes,
Yes.
yes or no? Now, you know, what is the important thing over here? The important thing over here is that how many arguments I have.
2.
Now I'm expecting the answer. Yes. And how many I can say, you know, how many things I have called in my function when I have printing my function 2. Yes, Satish and
Yes.
Satish.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me do one thing. Let me delete this one. Okay. How many arguments I have? 2.
2.
And how many that parameter I am calling inside my function?
1
Only
only.
1. Let me run the program. I am getting the error. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can see, and error says that missing one required position argument. Here it says that you are missing something. What you are missing? Name. Where is the name? Here is the name. Satish, I have printed for F name, not for this name. So in error also here it is saying that my brother, whatever the code you did, your code is correct, but you are missing one required position arguments. What you are missing? You are missing something in the last line. Yes, if I'll go here and if I'll say ABC, two arguments in my function, and I'm calling my both the arguments over here. Yes, if you'll call one,
Yes.
it will give you the error. Now 2, and if I will go here and if I'll say XYZ, and let me run this program, again it will throw me the error. Takes 2 position argument but 3 were given. Here it says that here you are saying 2 arguments, you are printing how many? 3.
3.
It will give you the error. So just before I told you, by default function must be called with the correct number of arguments, meaning that if your function expect 2 arguments, you have to call how many? 2.
2.
Not more than 2, not less than 2. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Now, arbitrary arguments. What do you mean by arbitrary arguments? If you do not know how many arguments that will be passed into your function, add a asterisk sign before the parameter name in the function definition. This way, the function will receive a tuple of arguments and can access the items accordingly. Can I say that I have the tuple here? Yes, I can say I have the tuple here. Arbitrary arguments are often shortened to star, and ARGS stands for arguments in the Python. So if the number of arguments is unknown, if you don't know how many arguments I have, you can, or you don't know that how many arguments I have to put. So in that case, what you can do? In that case, you can use that asterisk sign over here. Once you use the asterisk sign, and if you run the program, you will not get the error. Let me show you practically over here. Let me go here and let me say close it. Let me type the new code for me. And here I will say define. Always, whenever you will start working with the diff, you have to use my function. You can give any name. I'm just giving this default name. And then I will say, okay, I don't know how many arguments I have to print. So I will use this asterisk sign and I will say name. Done. After
Yes.
function, you have to pull the double colon. Once you will put the, if you'll not put the double colon, your enter will direct go below the diff keyword. But when I will put the double colon, it will follow the correct syntax. Make sense? Yes.
Yes.
Print. Listen to me carefully. Here I will say my first student. Who is my first student? My first student is. Then I will say plus. Now, when you will say plus, you have to call your argument. What is my argument? My argument is nothing but the name which I have defined above. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can see. Now,
Yep.
Can I say I'm using the list here? Yes, I'm using the list here.
Yes.
Now, if I will say list, that means you have to understood that this square bracket is nothing but the list. Then what I will do, then I will go here and I will simply type my function. This is my function which I have defined above. Now here I will say my first student is Satish. First argument, first argument, first parameter I have passed. Yes.
Yes.
He is from Australia. Second is passed. Third is he is working with Cisco. Now tell me, listen to me carefully. How many arguments I have passed here? One. But I use asterisk sign. Yes.
Yes.
Previously we passed 2. When we was trying to print 3, it was giving me the error. 2 arguments you have to call 2. This time I have only 1, but I have asterisk sign, and I'm passing how many parameters here?
3.
And let me say print it. My first student is Cisco. Yes. Yes, my first student is Cisco. You know why Cisco? Let me show you. Can I go here and can I put 1? Let me run the program. My student is Australia. Okay, let me put 0 and run the program. My student is Satish. Make sense? Yes. You know why? Because as we have discussed in our list, this is on number or position 0. This is on position 1. This is on position 2. Yes.
Yes.
So if I will say 0, it will print Satish. Yes. If I will say 1, it will print Australia. Yes.
Yes.
If I will say 2, it will print Cisco. Yes.
Yes.
Makes sense? Yes or no?
It does.
Correct. So whenever you are defining the arguments we show, you don't know that how many things you have to print over here. Correct. If I will go here and if I'll say 5, let me run the program. I'm getting the error. Yes or no? Why? Oh, you have a 0, 1, 2, 3 only. Then how it will print the 5? Yes or no? Makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yes. Correct. So if I will say 1 and if I will say run, then it will give me the correct output. Now, this is about, so argument part is very, very important. When you will configure the OSPF, you define so many arguments like interface, IP address, mask, wildcard mask, area, and blah, blah, so many things. Now, keyword argument. You can also send arguments with the key is equal to value syntax. This way, the order of the arguments does not matter. Order of the argument does not matter means, okay, how many arguments I have passed in my function? 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes or no?
Yes.
In my function, I say child 1 is this one, child 2 is this one, child 3 is this one. When I run the program, the youngest child is, here it says Linus. The phrase keyword arguments are often stored under the key arguments. When you will say key, ARGS stands for keyword argument. Got it? Okay. So why it print the Linus only? Why it is not printing the Toby's, or why it is not printing the email? Let me show you here. When I will go here and I will say define one function. My function name is nothing but the my function. Then I will go here and I will pass the 3 argument, name 1. Then I will say name 2. Then I will say name 3. Then how many arguments we have passed? 3 arguments. Then I will say print. Now in the print, I will say My first student name is. Make sense? Yes. Then I will say, see here I am saying plus, and I will say name 3. What I am saying? Name 3.
Name 3.
Then I will go back and I will call my function. Obviously, I have to call my function. This is my function. And then I will say, okay, which is your first argument? Name 1. Okay, name 1. Who is your first student? In name 1, I will say my first student name is nothing but Sujit. Okay, done. Then comma, then name 2. What is the name of your second student? My second student name is nothing but the Gajanan. Okay, who is your third student? My third student name is nothing but let me say Vilas. Okay, 3 arguments, 3 parameter with arguments inside my function. Now let's run the program. Okay, my first student name is Vilas. What I'm getting? My first student name is nothing but what? Vilas.
Vilas.
If I will go here and if I will say 2 and let me run the program. My first student name is Gajanan. Let me make it 1. My first student name is Sujit. Make sense?
Yes.
Excellent thing over here is that. Excellent thing over here is that. Here I use list. Agree?
Yeah.
Here I'm not using list. Agree?
Yes.
Still it is printing this value. Yes. You know why? Because whatever I want to, whatever I'm calling my inside my function, I'm defining the same thing here. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If I will say 2, it will print GJ. If I will say 3, it will print Vilas. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That means you can do the same thing with the 2-way. You can do with the list. You can do with the keyword argument. You will say, okay, I want to go with the keyword argument. You can go with the keyword argument. Now, this time you can see, if you do not know that how many keyword arguments that will be passed into your function, add how many asterisk sign?
2.
2 asterisk sign before the parameter name in the function definition. This way, the function will receive a dictionary of arguments and can access the items accordingly. Again, the arbitrary keyword arguments are often shortened to 2-time asterisk keyword arguments in the Python documentation. That means if I will go here for an example, and if I will say I don't have 3 arguments inside my function, I have only 1 argument, but I'm using 2 asterisk sign. Then I will say, okay, my first student name is what? Is something like this. You can say whatever you want to print. Correct? You can say my first student name is nothing but this one. My second student name is nothing but this one. But you can see what I will do now. Here I will say plus name. And then I will say, okay, I want to define something here. What you want to define something here? I will say, I want to define the, see, yeah, this is very, very important. I will say, I want to define the name. Okay. Now inside my function, if I will go here and if I will say my function name 1 is equal to Sujit, name 2 is equal to GJ. Let me delete this Vilas. Now, can anyone tell me first thing when I will run this program, I will get an error when I will run this program. If this program will be executed successfully, which kind of output we will get?
Sujit and GJ.
Sorry.
Result will become Sujit and GJ.
Okay, let me run the program. First of all, I'm getting the error. Yes.
Yes.
Why?
So the name is not defined.
Argument name.
Okay.
Which you're calling in print statement.
Okay. Anyone else? Now listen to me carefully. When I will go here and if I will say name 1 and I will say run the program, I just put 1 and I'm getting the output. Yes. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My first student name is Sujit. Sounds good. Let me go here and let me say 2 and run the program. I'm getting the GJ. Yes.
Hmm.
Agree or not? Agree. Now do the analysis. To be honest, this is the way how the Python is developed. Gudio, who is the designer of the Python, in this way he created the Python. Yes, you can now you can compare all the about 3 programs. Whenever I'm saying compare, that means there is something. Look at here, and now look at here. Yes, and the program which we did just before. Correct. So even if you see, even I don't know that how many parameters I will call here, yes or no. If I'll go here and if I'll say I have one more parameter, why you are worried? You can say, okay, put the 3, and you can say, okay, this time I will say the Vilas. Run the program. Sounds good. Just put the 3 here and run the program. You will get the Vilas. Correct. Slowly I am making my program more and more complicated. There are different ways through which you can call your arguments, whatever the arguments you have passed. Now default parameter value. The following example shows how to use the default parameter value. If we call the function without arguments, it use the default value. Means what? If we call the function without arguments, it will use the default value. Okay, tell me where it use the default value in the output. I'm giving you the hint.
Third line, my function
Excellent.
without any.
My function
Yeah.
without any, it will print the default arguments, whatever the arguments you define inside your function. And my default arguments over here is nothing but the Norway country name. Yes.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yes. That means here what I'm saying here, I'm saying that if I will go here and if I'll say define one function, my function name is nothing but my function, then I will say the name of my student, and my student name is nothing but Sujit. Then what I will do, then I will say, okay, print. What you want to print? You will say my favorite student is, I will say my favorite student is, then I will go here and I will say whatever the things you define inside your function. Then I will go here and I will say my function. This time I'm only using func. You can use anything. Then I will say Sujit. No, then I will say, you can see here I will say Vilas first of all. Then I will copy the same thing. Whenever you are doing coding, make sure that you have a good skill of copy and paste. Then I will say, okay, my second student name is nothing but the Satish. My third student name is nothing but the Gajanan. And my fourth student name is nothing but nothing, empty. And I will run the program. First of all, I'm getting the name error. My function, that means I have to put the underscore. I have to put the underscore. You can see if you're calling the wrong function name, it will give you an error. Let me run the program. My favorite student is Vilash. My favorite student is Satish. My favorite student is GJ. And my favorite student is Sujit. Even I'm not saying Sujit here. Yes. Yes. So whenever you will say that, if you'll put my function value default, or null, it will print whatever you define in the arguments. Now passing a list as an argument, we have already seen, but still let me tell you that you can send any data types of arguments to a function, string, number, list, dictionary, and it will be treated as the same data type inside the function. If you send a list as an argument, it will still be a list when it reaches to the function. That means list, you know very well, right? This is my list. Makes sense? Apple,
Yes.
banana, cherry is less, right? So here you can see define my function food for x in here I use my for loop, print fruits, my frame, my function print, it will, my function, whatever the you define over here, it will call all the, that means in short, here you use the for loop and list as well. Now, this is important, return values. You can see whenever I will say I want to return something. So if you are saying if you want to return something means what? Means this is how we are defining the function. My function name, one argument pass, argument name is nothing but the x, return 5 into argument. Yes. Okay.
Mm.
So I am getting the 5 into 3, 15, 5 into 5, 25, 5 into 9, 45. Yes or no? Yes.
Mm.
So here, see, return values, to let a function return a value, use the return statement. So I said, okay, I want to return something. What you want to return? You want to return the sign. So let me show you over here. When I will go here and I will say, I want to return the multiplication or subtraction or whatever you want to return, you can return. There will be no any issue. Yes. If I'll go here and if I say, let me define one function, my function name is nothing but my underscore function. Then I will call whatever the variable I want to define or arguments I want to define. Then I will say return, it will automatically come. Return, I will say 10. I will say, for an example, right now we are saying multiplication. Whatever you define above, you have to call the same thing, Satish. Whatever the arguments you define, you have to call the same thing. Then I will go here and I will say, okay, now print. What you want to print? You have to print, first of all, your function name. My function name is nothing but my function. And then you will say, okay, I want to do the multiplication with the 10 into 10. Yes. Then I will go here and I will say, this time I want to do with the 20 and this time I want to do with the 30 for an example. See, when I will run this program, here it is giving me the clear output. For an example, if I'll go here and if I'll say plus sign and let me run the program. Makes sense, right? 10, 10, 20, 10, 20, 30. If I will go here and if I'll say, let me do the 10 divided by 10 is equal to 0. Yes. Yes. And for 20 and 30, it is giving me that you will get the remainder 0. If I will go here and if I will use this sign, can anyone tell me what will happen when I will use this sign? Okay, let me run the program. I'm getting 1, 0, and 0. Can I say this is nothing but the zero division operator, which we have discussed in our previous session, if you remember? Yes. Yes, correct. If you did any programming, whatever we have discussed, then you will understood that why I got this output. Now, this is about, that means you can use multiplication, you can use the addition, you can use the subtraction, you can use the division. Pass function we have discussed. When you will say pass, it will just pass everything. It will not print anything for you. Now, recursion is important. What do you mean by recursion? Anyone in general, whenever we people are talking about the recursion, what actually the
repetitive.
Okay, so here, whenever we people are talking about the recursion, so what actually the recursion says? Recursion says that whenever you will define the function, so Python also accept the function recursion, which means a defined function can call itself. When you are calling yourself, it is called the recursion. Recursion is a common mathematical and programming concept. It means that a function call itself. This has the benefit of meaning that you can loop through the data to reach a result. The developer should be very careful with the recursion, as it can be quite easy to slip into a writing function which never terminates, or one that use excess amount of memory or processor power. However, when written correctly, recursion can be a very efficient and mathematically legend approach to programming. So here in my example, what I did in my example, try recursion is a function that we have defined to call itself recurse. We use a k variable as the data, which decrement -1 every time we recurse. The recursion ends when the condition is not greater than 0. To a new developer, it can take some time to work out how exactly this works. Correct. So let me show you. No worry, I will tell you in the easiest way. So whenever we people are talking about the recursion, you first of all you have to define the function. Yes, you can put any name, whatever the name you want to put. I'm putting my general name, which I'm using. I will say my function. Inside my function, I will say, okay, passed one arguments, whatever the, whatever the arguments you want to pass, you can pass the argument. Then I will say if condition. Now, what do you mean by if condition? If I say if k is greater than 0, if now I'm defining the condition, if k is greater than 0, then what you have to do? Then I will say the result is equal to k plus. Now here I will call my function. If you don't know, when you will type something, you will automatically get the hint. You can say I'm automatically getting the hint. Yes, when I will get the hint, I will come to know that whatever I'm doing it correctly in the correct order. Then I will say k minus 1. This is my result, what actually I'm looking for. Then I will say enter. Then I will say print. Obviously, what you want to print, you want to print the result. Yes, it will automatically. It's good practice to choose whatever you are getting in the hint section. Now here I use the if condition. Now if this condition is not true, listen, if this condition is not true, then you have to go into the else condition. What you will do into the else condition, you can see when I'm saying else, I'm getting the red line. Yes, that means this is not the correct. Why? Because when I will go here and I will say enter, and if I will say else, if this condition is not true, then what will happen else? Now see, again I'm getting the red line. Let me go ahead, and here I will say result. If the if condition is not true, then result will be 0. You can see I'm also getting the red line. When I will go here and I will say sounds good, now you can see my red line is gone. Correct? That means you have to follow the proper indentation. Then I will say, then what you will do? Then you will print the return, and inside the return, what you want to return? You want to return the result. What you want to return? You have to return the result. And finally, I will say print. Now what you have to print? Now you have to print something, and that something is nothing but what? That's something nothing but the, when we have discussed, whenever I will say slash n means new line. What? Slash n means new line. Correct? Slash t means you are putting the tab. So here I will say that the result of above is, and finally I have to call my function. Now without running program, I can say straightforward that I am getting one error over here, where I'm getting one error into the result. Yes,
spelling of return is not right.
Return, very good. I will say return and done. Now return result makes sense. Yes, let me run the program. When I'm running the program, I'm getting the output. The result of above is nothing. Why? Excellent output I'm getting. Yes, excellent. Now this is nothing but the programming. Can anyone say why I'm not getting anything here? Look at this program carefully. If you look at this program carefully, you will automatically get the answer.
Do we have to initialize k?
Fine.
Yes. Anyone else want to say anything or something?
Function, the if is with the function k minus 1, no? Or that's no, that's a counter. Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? If I am the programmer, see, first thing, when you will get this kind of output, you are more and more confusing. You will think, yeah, my program is correct. I don't know why I'm not getting the output. Correct. You are not able to identify the mistakes. The only reason is you don't have a practice. First thing. Second thing is that something is missing here. Let me tell you. If I will go here in my function. And if I will say, let me put the 6 and let me run the program, I'm getting the output. Yes. 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 21. Yes.
Mm.
Now, why I got the 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21? Can anyone tell me which kind of output it is? Why?
Supposed to be k plus my function.
Okay. You can see here I said that, result is equal to what? K plus my
Plus my
function and then k minus 1, right?
Mm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And what value I put here?
K value.
Okay. If I will go here and if I will say 3 and let me run the program, you can see my output is changed. I'm giving you the hint. Okay, let me make it more easy for you. Let me say 2 and let me run the program.
Which is k minus 1 plus k. 1 is 2.
Okay, now see. First of all, look at this condition. It should be greater than 0. Yes.
Yes.
That means this part is not
It is.
executing. Only this part is executing. Agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I will say k is equal to 1 plus my function 1 minus 1, what I will get?
1.
1.
Agree?
Mm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. When I will say 2 plus 2 minus 1, what I will get?
3.
Make sense?
Mhm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, every time this is printing the last digit, that is fine. If I will go here and if I will say 3 and let me run the program. When I will say 3, still I'm getting 1. Yes.
Yes.
You know why?
Mhm.
3 plus 3 minus 1, 3 plus 2. So when you will do this kind of things, why, you people are thinking that why I'm not getting the 5 here, I'm getting only 1. Yes. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know why? When you are saying plus, minus, multiplication, division, zero division, out of this all, which will be executed first in programming language?
Bracket.
Multiplication.
BOD.
Yes.
Odd mass.
So if you are getting this value, you are getting this value because of this one. Don't look at over here, not because of this one. Correct? You are getting this thing because of this method. If I will go here and if I will say not k minus 1, for an example, if I will say k plus 1, let me run the program. I'm getting the error. Yes. Why I'm getting the error? If I'll go here and if I say, sorry, I don't want to go with the k minus, I want to go with the k multiplication and let me run the program. I'm getting the error. Yes. Yes. When I will go here and I will say, sorry, I don't want to go with this one. I want to go with the multiplication, division. You can see when I put the division, I'm getting the 3, 3. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Correct. So if you are not able to understood this one, no worry. Because we have not discussed that when you have a multiple, this kind of operator, which will be executed first. correct? So here plus will not be executed first, this will not be executed first, this will be executed first. Even if you have this kind of bracket, it will go. But here, if you want to understand this program, when I will put here 2, and when I will say -1 here, and when I'm running this program, in this case, when I will put the 2 here, I'm getting the correct output. So what recursion means? What recursion means? Recursion says that the definition of recursion is, can I say I'm calling my function 2 times here? Agree or not?
Yes, yes.
Yes. I'm calling my function 2 times here. And that 2 times, the word which I'm using 2 times itself is nothing but the
Okay.
recursion. That word itself is nothing but the. So whenever you are saying that my name is Jagdish, okay, again I'm saying my name is Jagdish, again I'm saying my name is Jagdish. So whatever I'm speaking, I'm doing the recursion. What I'm doing?
Recursion.
Recursion. We will discuss this all things in detail, but this recursion is new for you. Correct? So recursion means what? Recursion means whenever you will call your functions 2 times or more than 2 times, it is called the recursion. Whatever we have discussed today, this is very, very important. And I go very slow today, right? Because this is important. If something is very important, I will go it slow. Now, let me quickly go through the quiz so that I will come to know that whatever we have discussed, that is you understood or not. So function can return multiple values in the Python. Yes or no? The answer is yes.
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 Because it is visible. Now let me go with the second option. Function defined inside other functions can be used outside of those functions. Think and answer.
Yes, true.
Never. You cannot call the function inside the function. Let me go here and let me show you the question number 3. Function that call itself is called what?
Recursive.
Recursive. Just before we have discussed, right?
Yes.
Function that called itself is called a recursive
Recursive.
function. Now we can access variable defined inside the function. We can access a variable defined inside a function, outside the function.
True.
Yes.
We can access a variable defined inside a function, outside the function. No, whatever you define in your argument, you have to call the argument inside the function. If you define something outside the function, you cannot call it. Let me go through the question number 5. What is the right way to pass keyword argument to the following function product X, Y? Look at it carefully and tell me. What is the right way to pass keyword arguments to the following function? Okay, let me give you the hint.
Last one, sir. Fourth.
Okay, so if you are saying last one, then you have to think about the third and fourth. If you are saying second one, then you have to think about the first and second. Just look at the equal to sign and just look at the double colon sign. Here you can see I'm saying product Y is equal to 20, X is equal to 30. Here I'm saying product, so double colon will be never true. Now you have to think about first and second. Yes.
Yes.
Then why I'm saying second one is true, first one is not true?
Because the
So
letter.
you're passing those two arguments in that second option.
Second one is correct because here I mentioned XY. Yes.
Yeah.
If I mention AB here, then my first one is correct. I put XY here, and that's why my second one is correct. Makes sense. Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Let me go to the question number 6. Which of the following will prevent an error when required arguments are not passed to the function when the function is called? Which of the following will prevent error when required arguments are not passed to the function we already discussed? Okay, My
Default
function,
values.
excellent. My function, Sujit, my function, Vilas, my function, Jagdish, and my function, null. If I'll put null, what it will print?
Default value.
हम लोगों ने लेब अभी मैंने आपको करके दिखाया यार. Default
Yes,
value,
yes.
yes.
Hmm.
When we pass a value, the default value will be override or override. True or false?
Yes. True.
To pass any number of keyword arguments, which of the following should be used as the function parameter?
Star.
See, yeah. Interesting. To pass any number of keyword arguments, which of the following should be used as the function parameter? First, second, third.
Third.
Anyone else?
Third.
Obviously, third we have discussed. Yes.
Yes.
First is never true. Last one is never true. Only one option is pending, first and third, yes or no. But as per the question, third one is true. Done?
Yeah.
We had an excellent session and good focus, everyone. Yes, thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, Jagdish.